PC Master Race of all damn ages. It's been far too long, but welcome to Ironhammers Overclocked, Episode 5. I'm your co-host, Simon the Diamond Ivanoff, and next to me in the video, it's in this direction, next to me, several miles away, in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, Charlie Charmander Binks Wilson. Charlie, what is up?
What's up, Simon, buddy?
So, to make a very long story short, it's Chicago. It's hot for once. I just got back from Mexico, which I'll discuss a little bit. Cinco de Mayo just passed. And so therefore I'm drinking a Mexican drink. It's not really Mexican. I mean, you could buy it here. It's called Tres Leches, which means like 3 milks. This is kind of a Kahlua-esque drink. And if anyone's familiar with the Big Lebowski, this is my take on the White Russian. I'll just call it the White Mexican because it's with a Mexican drink. It's got a bit of that liqueur, and it's got some milk. It seems like it's going to be a very tasty drink. So let me take a sip on air. Check it out, Charlie. This is for everyone who's missed us for the last 2 weeks. Good Lord. That's Mexican.
Dude, White Russian, that makes perfect sense.
Yes, exactly. And but yeah, so once again, a little video bonus. You get to see, if you're watching us on the video as opposed to MP3, I am not as tanned as one would be from spending 10 days in Mexico. But yeah, Charlie, it's been 3 weeks since our last show. I have not played anything. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. I haven't played a single video game since our last show, but I do have a game to talk about, which I wasn't able to speak about before. But before I get into that, I want to know what you've been doing for the last 3 weeks. Folks, I know Charlie outside of the podcasting world. He's my friend, and I actually haven't had a chance to talk to him and catch up since I got back. So, folks, catch up with us, catch up with me, catch up with Charlie. Charlie, what have you been up to the last 3 weeks, sir?
Let's see here. Well, the weather has been nice. People have been driving 5 to 10 miles slower than they were before, so I've been doing a lot of being late for work. I don't know if you can tell, but I am extremely red. I am sunburned in the beginning of May. I mean, it's been 80 degrees. 80 degrees for spring here in America is ridiculous. 80, 90, but I'm all sunburned, and I went golfing, and so I've got like muscle pain in the top half on one side of my body and on the lower half of the other side of my body. So I'm like all screwed up. Game-wise, I have been playing, I started playing Candy Crush Saga.
Oh,
I think
God.
I mentioned before, I'm a big Bejeweled Blitz guy. This is like Bejeweled Blitz except slow. And you have to actually pay attention to what you're doing and strategize. And what I really hate is you have to beg your friends in order to advance. That's it might steer me away from it, but it's fun. I can't help it. I like playing Bejeweled Blitz. I like taking my time with Candy Crush Saga. Blah, blah, blah. But that, I know you know The Witcher 3 is coming out soon. So
yes.
You gifted me Witcher 1 like a year ago, and I finally got around to playing it. And it's pretty good. I'll say the gameplay is aged. It's old. It feels familiar to like Baldur's Gate, kind of. Except it's a little more action, less menu-oriented. But a lot of decision-making, a lot of going on to Google, and it's like, do I choose this bitch or that bitch? Do I join this side of the war or that side of the war? Yeah, I spend more time stressing these decisions more than like real-life decisions, like getting a new job. Okay, yeah, fine, whatever. Do I defend the dwarves or the elves? Oh, god damn, what am I going to do? 2 weeks later, I'll finally play the game. And I know I mentioned last time I was going to rate my tablet first-person shooter experience, using the drawing pen. It was bad.
So to refresh people's memory, you've got a Wacom like drawing tablet, graphics design tablet. Now, what game did you actually test? And once again, explain the layout. Explain where your hands are, what's doing what, what's controlling what? Because I have never heard of this.
Well, you can use a tablet like a mouse, dragging and such, but the way you usually use it is each area of the tablet matches up with an area on the screen. So in order to shoot something in the upper left-hand corner, you would actually have to tap the upper right-hand corner. So basically you're aiming with your tablet, what you see on the screen. And when I tried to play Half-Life, I'm talking the original Half-Life because that's another series I have to catch up on, I could not stop spinning in circles. And another note on me about Half-Life games is they give me motion sickness. The viewing angle is only set to like 60 degrees, and even if you go into the developer's tools, you can expand it to like 75 or 90. So it makes me sick already. And when it started spinning, just trying to keep the pointer in the middle of the screen, I was going to throw up. So I played for about 5 minutes. In conclusion, I can't play first-person shooters with a drawing tablet. If there's someone out there who's accustomed to playing like 5,000 DPI, maybe they'll be steady enough for it, but not me.
Man, that sounds it. Now did you try playing a more refined FPS like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, since a lot has changed since then, maybe in terms of the accuracy or what the view tool would do?
I have not. I think my most recent game would be BioShock Infinite. I can give that a shot. But maybe I'll try Witcher. I mean, it lends itself more. It's a little slower. Not as quick, twitchy. So I'll give it a try with Witcher. I'll let everyone know how that goes. But I think, generally speaking, you're sticking to keyboard and mouse.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Well, that's cool, man. Now The Witcher, I've played about 45 minutes of it, okay? Like, once again, this was on my last build, so I haven't reinstalled. It's like a fat file, too. I think it's like 15 gigs, but I remember the combat being very interesting. Like you had different like a power stance and a light stance and maybe even a medium too, and you just kind of change on the fly depending on how the enemy is approaching you. Am I completely
there's strong? There's fast, and there's group. So if you're surrounded by enemies, you generally want to try to fight them with the group stance because it'll hit everyone in the circle. The fast stance is for, I think, characters with high dodge. So you'll do less damage, but you'll actually hit them instead of missing. And then the strong is what you try to stick with because it delivers your best bang for buck hit. You'll hit for a lot more damage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but there were a lot of attractive, busty, Polish, redheaded characters in that game, and it is a Polish game, so very, very accurate. And I like that you're telling me that I could choose between ladies too. This sounds like a game I should play, and I've heard nothing but good things about Witcher 2, and of course I need to prepare myself for Witcher 3, so I need to get on that bandwagon as well.
Yeah, your big choices there with the girls. As far as your main girl, I think you got 2 redheads, but you have a shot at a lot of other women's, and they give you like a sex card after you do the deed, and I've probably done about 10 so far. I was considering actually playing the game in Polish, the way it's meant to be played. I mean, in its original language. I prefer to do that when possible, especially with like anime and such. But I found myself looking away from the screen too much, like eating while I'm playing. So I have been playing the English version, and the voice acting is still pretty good. A lot of like Hackney, the rough English accents.
Yeah, Cockney,
Cockney, a lot of Irish accents and Scottish accents. The main character has like Alucard, though. It's very low and dull. Like, I'm going to have sex with you now. It's like
nice.
It's pretty bad, but most of the voice acting is good outside of the main character in English.
Nice. Well, cool, man. Are you gonna try to pick up Witcher 2 right away as soon as you're done?
I eventually, like I said, I've got the Half-Life series I still got to tackle. Plus, I think I gotta put some effort into getting a new job. I think I've mentioned it before. I basically make old, crappy computers work, or I try. But most of the time, I usually am going up to little old ladies and being like, "Excuse me, I need to interrupt what you're doing to make your computer work less well. I'm going to break your computer for a second. Can you just let me get on your computer here?" It's pretty bad.
Nice. You should just you should put what are they called? What are those things called? Key that it records the keystrokes. What the hell are those things called?
Keylogger.
Yeah. You should install keyloggers and learn all these old ladies' perverted secrets, and just cyber stalk all of them. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in my head right now, man. This Mexican liquor. So, all right. So new job, catching up on some old games. That's definitely a summer behavior. The 5-star titles haven't come out yet. We've got a few months. We just finished BioShock Infinite. We have time to kind of catch up and, reprioritize things. Maybe that's why I haven't really been playing much. It's kind of that time to catch up on other things. But for me, I'll talk about Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon because I wanted to speak about that several weeks ago and when I wasn't able to for many circumstances. Have you checked that game out yet, Charlie?
All I've seen is the advertisement picture that shows up when I bring up the AMD Catalyst. It looks ridiculous, sci-fi, purple, glowy. You tell me, what is it supposed to be?
Yeah, like I said, it's like what the Expendables is to action movies now. It's 100% fan service for 80s movies, of what we thought the future would look like back in the 80s, and really insane, like awesome, heavy synth, almost Mass Effect 1 type music, all neon, all like crazy lasers. Like I said, the animals, instead of tigers, there's like cyber tigers. It's insane stuff. It's fun. It's a standalone expansion to Far Cry 3. It just kind of gets rid of some of the small elements that weren't necessary for the game, but it's a very cool game, and it's like $15, man. It's just for the music alone and for the insane voice acting by Michael Biehn, known as Kyle Reese from Terminator Part 1. It's definitely worth picking up. I hope they do more things like that, or maybe have a whole proper spin-off of this character and this universe. Very fun.
See, when I think of Far Cry, I always think of jungles and waters and beaches, and that's what it's been, right?
And you're still, and you're still in that landscape. It's just all at night, and like you're still in a jungle on an island, but all the outposts are like, have like just really futuristic. And then of course there are blood dragons, so while you're dealing with all this other stuff, you have dragons like in Skyrim, except they're a lot more violent and insane and can destroy everything in one fiery blast. But it's definitely worth checking out. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. It's anyone who knows me knows this is like the perfect game for me. And then there's one game, Charlie, that you saw that I commented that I put on Facebook. No game, no announcement ever has excited me as much as this one. Shadowrun returns. Charlie, did you ever play the Super Nintendo version of Shadowrun?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So to make a very long story short, it is what this game took me down the path that is all of my music, movie, and video game interests, without a doubt. Like, this game took a hard right turn, after me playing Mario Brothers and Mega Man, and man, this like carved my interests in life. So Shadowrun, came out 20, 25 years ago. It's based on the old pen and paper, like D&D-esque game. There are Shadowrun books and hit points manuals and whatnot. And it was a isometric RPG, which was unprecedented for its time in the Super Nintendo era. But pretty much, you hire shadow runners, like bodyguards. There's a part in the game where, so you want to fix your data jack or your cerebral computer, and you go to some like black market doctor, and he's like, yeah, I could fix the computer in your brain. He installs a bomb. He hacks into your brain and installs a bomb, and now you're going around town in these scummy black markets trying to get this bomb removed. It's like the epitome of what cyberpunk and, once again, like 80s idea of what the future would be like. It's like the epitome of that. And, Data East put it together. Data East crumbled, and for my whole life, I've been like, man, I'm never going to see something like that again. And yet a few guys put together a Kickstarter. It exceeded its goals, and now they're putting out Shadowrun Returns on Steam and probably other platforms. It looks beautiful. The music is by the same composer as the original. It looks great. So go on Steam, pick it up. I don't even care if this game sucks. It just, the idea that someone's putting it together is like, the only thing that would make me more excited is a direct sequel to Symphony of the Night with the exact same graphics engine. That's the only other thing that could excite me this freaking much, Charlie. But yeah, Shadowrun returns in June, just in time for my birthday, June 20th. Please gift me things on Steam, folks. Thank you very much. Other than that, Charlie, that's all I'm really excited for in life at this point. And before we move on to the PC topics, we're gonna have a more streamlined show today. Before we move on to our topics, our topic of the week, one topic, which is Razer versus Rocket, the final showdown. I have to talk about how good Game of Thrones is getting. All right, we have 3 episodes now that we haven't discussed. We're not going to talk about them in detail. Charlie, it's getting to that point, man, where I need to read the second book because I'm starting to see characters on Game of Thrones that I am starting to feel like, okay, this guy, I don't know who he is. I don't know why he's introduced, but it's getting there. And it's pissing me off that they're continuing to have full episodes without Daenerys Targaryen, the Queen of Dragons, the greatest character, yet they spend time on the fat guy with the girl escaping the night creatures. They spend time on Jon Snow. I guess the Jon Snow storyline is cool with his crazy like Viking girlfriend, but they've got so many subplots that are so irrelevant to me, and yet they're not focusing on this beautiful mother of dragons she's just awesome, man. But Game of Thrones, if you're listening to this show and you don't know what the show is, read the books, watch it, and so maybe you can understand why Charlie's incorrect in saying that this character is a terrible character. But
all right, first of all, you got 2 gorgeous redheads, and you pick Daenerys to harp over. I mean, you got Sansa Stark and Ygritte, who they actually almost show full nudity. And when I read the book, they showed full nudity in my head, a lot of it, excessively. And actually, Sansa Stark was supposed to be topless, but she wasn't in the show.
Oh, was it a scene that passed already?
Yes.
Well, when she's changing, or what?
No, when the prince boy, king boy, what's his name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Joffrey humiliates her in front of a bunch of people and tears her top off, and Tyrion stops him and, acts the gentleman and tells Joffrey what a douchebag he is.
Wow, that hasn't even happened.
That has happened. We passed that, but there was no toplessness. Oh, and the redhead that apparently died.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The prostitute. And for reference, she is not in the book at all. She's an addition.
Well, that was the most attractive character on any show ever created. And it upset me that she died such a stupid death to the hands of such a little snot as Joffrey for just telling the eunuch those things. But anyways, before people start to wonder what the hell we're talking about, watch the damn show so you can understand what's going on Ironhammers Overclocked, the official PC gaming and Game of Thrones podcast of the United States of America. All right. Charlie, last thing. I think it's kind of pop culture and PC related. Do you care about the Iron Man movies? Have you watched Iron Man 3?
I do. I like the first 2. I have not seen the third yet. I've heard from people who have. They all say it's great. And
cool.
It looks great.
Good. Yeah, watch it. Watch it. I watched it in Mexico with English dialogue but Spanish subtitles, which was pretty cool.
Hombre de what? I don't even know.
I think it's hierro, or I forget what it is for iron. But they still call it Iron Man. They just say Iron Man.
Yeah, I figured.
Iron Man. But yeah, Iron Man 3, good stuff. Other than that, any movies or shows or games left that you want to talk about, Charlie, for the last few weeks before we move on?
Not really. I don't really watch much TV. I don't turn my TV on for weeks at a time. I only really catch the American Office, which, it's more of an addiction at this point, but it's almost over. Big Bang Theory, I'm a huge fan. If you don't watch that, you're an idiot. I think it's the best rated show on American television right now.
Oh.
And then I follow One Piece online. I am an addict of One Piece. It will not be over until I'm about 40 years old, but I don't care.
I need to watch some. I need to catch up on some anime. I think you were telling me about Full Metal Alchemist, which I still haven't had a chance to watch. But
Full Metal Alchemist, it's only like 40 or 50 episodes. The English dubbing is pretty good. If you want to go that route, I'd still watch it in Japanese. It's a great story, and it's actually the original manga writer is a woman, which is kind of different for a Shonen Jump, I believe. So, and it's well done. It's a study of war, but the main characters are like two kids. They're like two boys who lose their parents, and one of them's soul winds up in a suit of armor. So you got like a little kid in a 7-foot suit of armor. It's clever.
I like that. It sounds very different.
Yeah, but it's not so Japanesey. No offense to my Japanese friends. I love your anime, but most anime gets pretty far out there.
It's not Ranma half or whatever.
Yeah, Ranma half with the pandas and all. It's very Western influenced, and it's the characters are always well done in anime, but this one the plot actually it's relatively followable.
Nice. So. Well, yeah, I need to catch up on that, and the American Office. I thought that was the last episode, but I guess you're saying it's still not completely over.
I'm sure we'll know when it's completely over. I want to say it's coming up though.
Nice. Well, so there are a few games on Steam I want to discuss that I won't because I don't know anything about them. But like I said, I was gone for a week, and I come back, and now I see like Might and Magic Heroes Part 6. I didn't even know that was coming out. I see some free-to-play games that have come out. I see just some like Grid 2. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming out. But what we'll do, Charlie, is maybe we'll put together a list for next week's show of stuff that's interesting us. I'd like to get back into the swing of discussing new releases, but I don't want to sit here and just read Steam games because that would make for a very boring show. But so like I said, so that's just for the second half of our show, and once again, this is just our catch-up show, kind of see what's going on. But where we left off, the last two episodes, we had a huge battle royale of what the best PC gaming peripheral manufacturers were. And let me see if my memory serves me correctly. We had Microsoft, Logitech, Razer, Mad Catz, Rocket, SteelSeries, Corsair, and Thermaltake. And
wow.
we narrowed everything down. Thank you. And I don't have any doc on my screen that shows this list, but and we narrowed it down to Rocket, a German, I believe they were German, a German up-and-coming manufacturer, which apparently, upon research, they have been around for almost half a decade now. I've just never heard of them. And then Razer, which is, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way, Charlie, before we go down this hole and find a winner. To me, Razer is the Ford, and Rocket is like the BMW, okay? Razer is, like I said, the loud, obnoxious, in a good way, the loud, obnoxious, flashy, competitive American image. And then Rocket is like sleek, European, accessible, utilitarian. It's just like it just seems like it's and full disclosure, I have not used the Rocket product. Now you said you went to a store, and last time we had the show, we were saying that we haven't really seen these products, but you went to the store and you actually saw some of the high-end Rocket gear, huh?
Last time I went to our former employer, yeah, they had a Rocket mouse. I forget which one it was. It was not the Cone or the Connie or however you pronounce it. It was something without lights. It was just your bland old mouse, which we've already said we need lights.
Yes.
That's who we are. That's our identity. We are Game of Thrones and lights. And they also had, I believe it's the it's the Rocket ISQ. They had the ISQ keyboard, which is a little flashier. It had the buttons below the spacebar that you liked. It honestly looked pretty slick.
Nice. Were there any hands-on? Were there any open ones, or you just saw the packaging?
I opened up the box, but I didn't really get to play with it. So I got to play with it, but I didn't really get to do anything with the keyboard. Nice.
So I'm gonna say straight up that Razer, and once again, the reason we can't just come out easy and say it is because we're saying that the Ironhammers Overclocked decision is Razer or Rocket, and I want to make a good decision. But Charlie, while I pull up the sites one last time, what are you leaning towards right now?
I'm still leaning towards Razer. I was leaning Razer before. I just really love my Razer mouse, and I've played with the other mice, and not all of them were for me. The lock assist nearly broke my fingers, or however you pronounce it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
The keyboards, I think, are about the same on both ends. You got the Rios and the ISQ versus everything that Razer's put out. I think they got the Black Widow and I forget the other main game, but they've also got their StarCraft. I'm pretty heavy into the Razer, even if it's just for the sheer quantity of what they've got and the style. But I nearly bought a Rocket Cone just on internet testimony alone. So
nice. Well, yeah, the reviews are out there. People love Rocket. They seem very dependable. They, like we discussed last time, they have a whole community set up, like a lot of exclusive stuff. You have a member ID. When you go to tournaments, you could log in with that. They've got the Power Grid. It's pretty much a multi-format or multi-platform accessory to your peripherals that you can access on a phone and whatnot. And they've got a lot of new headsets out, a lot of good stuff. But I'm gonna say straight up, I'm just gonna cut the cord. I think Razer needs to win for the obviously, I mean, there are great reasons for both. But I think Razer wins right now in May of 2013. I think Razer wins because the mere fact that they have so much licensed stuff, they've sponsored so many shows and been the main sponsor at so many esports events. Rocket's there. Rocket loves it. Rocket exists just for the esports, but Razer has been there. I mean, on the front page, they have a League of Legends mouse and mouse pad. They're there for gamers. They're not there for a businessman to have a mouse, like Logitech and whatnot. They are there purely for gamers. It's almost intimidating how competitive their gear is. So I'm going to say my heart is saying Rocket because I always root for the underdog, but the reality is right now Razer is the premier PC gaming peripheral manufacturer. So shall we put it in stone? Shall we? I just hate to say it. Shall we put it in stone? Does Razer win?
Again, SteelSeries makes a quality product, and you're not going to hear many people bad talk them. Their big drawback was they just don't have a whole lot of style. Everything they have out there looks basically the same. Nothing wrong with that, but as far as the product manufacturer, I'd like to see more. Logitech, it just pissed me off when they brought out all their new stuff, and it just looked exactly like the old stuff with new stickers and bumps. Otherwise, I know a lot of people that go Logitech more than anything else, but Logitech lost it for me when they didn't upgrade anything at all. Their entire line was a straight copycat of what they had before. Razer brings it out. Their new Death Adder, it's still a lot like the old Death Adder, but they're trying. There's a little extra something there, and there's just so much of it. Again, I know Logitech has a lot of it out there too, but they just didn't bring it with their new stuff. Rocket, up and coming, and again, maybe if I knew more about them, maybe if I was exposed more to what they've got, maybe. Again, a lot of their stuff seems to have the same form factor, but it's the same as my Death Adder, which I like. So I'd put it in stone, but it's definitely a title that's for the taking next year.
Yeah. Or we can even revisit it around the holidays, and once they start to put out the holiday lines. And speaking of which, when you have a chance, folks, go on the RazorZone.com and look at the Deathstalker keyboard, man. Jesus Christ!
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, it looks like it's brand new. It has like LCD keys and an LCD screen, cloud-based, unified configuration. Anyways, Razer wins with Rocket at a near tie. And please, folks, forgive me. Don't kill me. Don't send freaking missiles to my house. SteelSeries still is up there. SteelSeries is up there in this holy trinity. All right. I realize that many people are feel that we did a blasphemous act by not including SteelSeries in the finals. But hey, listen to the shows. We meticulously tore these manufacturers apart. SteelSeries still gets honorable mention. But right now, May 2013, Ironhammers Overclocked, and not representative of Ironhammers.org or Ironhammers on Air. They certainly do not agree with this decision. Razer wins, and unfortunately, Google Hangout got rid of all the sound effects. Otherwise, I'd play a sound effect right now. But congratulations,
everybody,
Razer.
Please don't kill Simon. If you want a list of people that you should kill instead, please email me. I'll send you a list.
There you go. The little old lady that keeps breaking the computer in aisle 5. Well, great. So we decided. Now, before we wrap up this episode, and once again, this was just a catch-up episode, folks. Before we wrap this up, Charlie, let me ask you this. What tournament should we have next? Should we do power supplies? You want to do cases? It's coming up on summer now. What do we need to take? I say we do cases. I say we do computer cases and break it down just like we did with these for the whole month of May. The next 3 shows. What do you think? Is there another product that?
I was gonna say, how the hell are you gonna have a tournament of power supplies?
Exactly. I mean, at some point, we're gonna have those episodes, and that's when people will start tuning out. But I would say we can do cases or like cooling accessories. But to be honest, I'm very excited to see. Yeah, let's look at the cases. We'll find 8 manufacturers. So folks, on Twitter, you can just do @Ironhammers, or on Facebook, wherever. Just or leave a comment on this show and let us know what manufacturer of computer chassis you think needs to be in the running for the 8 company tournament. And then of course we'll narrow it down until we get to the finals, all whilst discussing new releases and Game of Thrones and all the other good stuff. So Razer wins. That's done. Buy Razer accessories, but buy Rocket if you want to support the up-and-coming underdog. And Charlie, before we wrap up this episode and do some housekeeping, anything else you'd like to mention? Anything else that's come up or that's coming up soon?
Did you say anything about Mexico yet? I forget.
Just that I was there, and just that I didn't play much. It's this is the 8th time I've been to Mexico, and the last time I was there, everybody was huge into Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but not at their own houses, but like at cyber cafes. Like cyber cafes would dedicate a corner or a certain room to these music games because that stuff was way too expensive to have in one's home. Like the cheapest PlayStation 3 SKU is about $400 there. Computer parts, you don't really see computer stores like the way you see here, and if you do, everything is a lot more expensive. Everything has to be kind of shipped in, and obviously there are PC gamers in Mexico without a doubt, but it's just not part of the culture in the same way that it is here. If anything, you still have arcades still exist there, so you still have the people playing Street Fighter and King of Fighters and whatnot. But I didn't, not one person really discussed video games. I didn't really, they've got their GameStop equivalents there, and PC gaming didn't have much of a presence there. So of course I didn't play much. On the contrary, I mean everyone down there loves their Android devices. Everyone loves rooting their Androids and playing a lot of casual games. I had a friend that was playing Super Hexagon down there too.
Hey.
So yeah, stuff like that. But really gaming, at least in Puebla, Mexico, isn't that much of a presence. I'm sure in Mexico City it's as big as it is in Chicago, but yeah, it's virtually non-existent in terms of the mainstream pop culture and TV commercials and advertisements on billboards and whatnot.
I like hearing about other cultures. I mean, when I think of Mexico, I think of Breaking Bad and drug trades and human smuggling and wars between the gangs and the bought-off officials. I like hearing that there's actually more to Mexico than corruption and chopping off heads and lining them up on the border. It's nice to hear that there's people actually enjoying themselves and playing games, and I need to hear more of that to appreciate what's all down there, not just what's coming in through the media.
Yeah, no, and that's 100% true. And what's sad is Mexico's enormous, and the top half, okay, which my family is from the top half, is where all that stuff's happening, right? Like the closer you get to the border, the more crime there is, and the more, and a lot of it is criminals from our country going down there and screwing around. But the top half of Mexico is where you see a lot of the somewhat desert, the arid areas, and that is where parts of Mexico where you see the sombreros and the tequila with the worm in it, But where I was actually in the southern half, where you still have some Aztec ruins. So, like, I went underneath a pyramid. You can see pictures on Facebook and stuff like that. We went on top of a pyramid. There's the second largest Volkswagen factory in the world is in this town. They have, like, European car brands that we don't even have in this country. I mean, they've got Renault. People have, Renault everywhere. I forget the other brands, but it's a very nice, European town. Actually, Cinco de Mayo, which just passed, the 5th of May, people in this country think, oh, it's the day where you wear a sombrero and you drink Coronas. Oh, actually, they don't understand it. It commemorates the Battle of Puebla, which I was in Puebla, and I was actually walking around on the battleground where this battle happened, where Mexico pushed Spain out, therefore making Mexico independent, and so that it's a pretty culturally significant state. So it's great that you mentioned that, and but like if it's not a tourist area, which is why I like going there. I've got a lot of friends. I've got a band down there. So we played some music down there. It's a really cool, refreshing time. So that's why this episode I'm like totally out of the video game zone, but it just take me another week or two to get back to my sitting on this chair for 12 hours at a time and playing a game mode. But I'll tell you one thing, man. Before we close up, after BioShock Infinite, nothing is captivating me, man. Like, that game was so damn good. There's nothing else that really is like, oh, I have to sit down and play this game. I don't know if you're having this BioShock withdrawal as well.
No, not really. I liked BioShock 1 more. I thought it was creepier. I thought the story was better. BioShock Infinite was graphically superior, and I told you I had my Eyefinity set up, but I don't know, it didn't have as much effect on me as like Witcher. The Witcher, I mean, you're stressing over decisions, and it is one of those games where you're fussing with your inventory. I hate games like that, but I don't know. It's more of a story for me than BioShock Infinite was. BioShock Infinite for me wasn't as story driven as I would have liked, I guess.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Towards the end is where you start seeing all that stuff. But the songbird call was my ringtone for a while, which was pretty cool. But all right, well, we will close it down for now. A week from today. So Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Central Time, we will start discussing. We'll have the battle of gaming cases, custom cases, and let us let us know what you think. And once again, thank you for bearing with us if we were just kind of chatting. But you know what? That's fine. I'm not gonna apologize anymore, Charlie. I like how this show goes. I think it's a fun show to listen to on a commute to or from work. We did it in a good 45 minutes today. We're going to keep it that way. And stay tuned for Ironhammers on air coming very soon. And a lot of good news on ironhammers.org. And, of course, gmg.ironhammers.org if you want to buy some indie games from Green Man Gaming. If you like Steam and you like, cheap stuff. Or let me not say that. If you like Steam and you enjoy inexpensive digital downloads, then go to gmg.ironhammers.org and make the Ironhammers guys some moolah while shopping. Once again, what's up?
Don't leave yet.
All right. What's up?
Green Men Gaming, are they the ones that did the kind of experimental game where they released a game about game development and let people pirate it, and then had pirating backfire in the game?
No. We could discuss that real quick though, but that wasn't them. They're just a store site. But no, there's a game called, I think, Game Development Tycoon, and yeah, if you pirate the game, then at some point your confidant is like, hey, we're losing money because people keep pirating it. And at that point, no matter how many new games you start or whatever, your money exponentially gets. You keep losing money exponentially faster and faster if people don't pirate it. So that's pretty funny. It's a pretty cool trick. But yeah, I think that's Game Dev Tycoon or something like that.
Yeah, they did. They kept statistics. Based on feedback they were getting off the internet. There's something like 94% of the people playing it had pirated it after the first day.
Jesus Christ.
That's gamers insane. Out there, pay for your games, especially the indie companies. Please. Oh my God.
Yeah. If a game is not out, okay, if a game hasn't been released, and you have access to it, because you cannot wait to play it, and you know you're going to buy it, I'm not going to argue with downloading it in advance if it's there, but if it's something you're going to play for months and months, or if it's something you're really going to enjoy, go out and buy it. But the indie games, man, if it's under $10, just buy it for the love of God. Come on, man. If you have a gaming PC, you should have $5-6 to buy a game. But if not, if you absolutely, and we don't, of course, Ironhammers.org does not condone piracy, but if you absolutely have to pirate a game, and you're like, well, I wasn't going to buy it anyways, right? At least do your part in making money for that game and tell everyone you know about it. And don't tell people, hey, download this game. No, tell people, hey, this game is amazing. Buy it. Write a blog about it. Write a good review. Do a podcast talking about this game only. And just get the word out there so at least other people may buy it. But don't download it and then play it for 10 minutes and delete it. no
Unless it's
one.
from Electronic Arts. If it's from Electronic Arts, you go ahead and rape that shit.
Yeah, go download all DLC from EA for illicitly. But all right, Charlie, let's we will end this wonderful show for today. And I am rushing to shut it down because we're trying to see how we can do with a 45-minute limit. But all the quality stuff will be next week. We're gonna get Charlie, pick. You know what, Charlie? Pick one game you're excited next week. One game you're excited for. We'll talk about it. I'll pick a game I'm excited for that we haven't played yet. Something coming up this year or whatever. We'll talk about it. All that good stuff. Next week we'll get back into the swing of having a contest or something like that. But remember, ironhammers.org. Go in there, post comments. The guys have been giving away like some early access beta keys and whatnot. There's a lot of good content. Also, and finally, you like that, Charlie? Also, and finally, Community Rig of the Week. I need your submissions. Okay, if you have a badass PC, or if you have a PC that is barely running, but you put it together or you modified it, I need 3 pictures. I need a picture of the outside, I need a picture of the inside, and I need a picture of your gaming setup with your keyboard and your mouse and your monitor. Send it to podcast@ironhammers.org and tell me the specs, and I will feature it, if it's good enough, on our website. You can see previous entries. Charlie, we still need yours, but actually I think we'll save yours for the staff page once we get that up and running. But Community Rig of the Week, ironhammers.org. I'm Simon the Diamond Ivanoff. That's Charlie Charmander Binks right over there. This has been Ironhammers Overclocked number 5, the catch-up episode. And next week, we begin the war for supremacy of PC gaming cases. Charlie, final words.
I got nothing.
Once again, you got to watch the videos so you can see these amazing faces that we're making like this. You got to see these faces. But, oh, jeez, that's scary. Watch Game of Thrones. Play The Witcher. Play Blood Dragon. And listen to Iron Hammers on Air number 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you soon. If you have listened this far, I sincerely thank you. And on Charlie's, I speak for Charlie as well. We sincerely thank you for listening. It's a fun time. I have fun doing it. Charlie and I both just got back from work. We both get up early for work. This is like the 2 hours we have free to ourselves, but we enjoy spending it here.
I could
talking.
be jacking off right now.
I am doing that. I actually don't have pants on right now. I'm just kidding.
I'm solving Rubik's Cubes off camera. When you see my hands, that's because I just finished one.
The things that happen off camera are way more interesting than what's happening on camera. But, oh boy. Well, on that note, Charlie, I will see you in 7 days.
Okay.
How many hours is that? I'll leave that riddle for you people. Goodbye forever.